And we are rolling. Rolling. I am your fearless host, House, aka Houseman, aka your biggest fan.
What? Your
You the
biggest man.
biggest fan.
Biggest fan.
Yeah,
Who's biggest fan? Like
everybody.
everybody.
Yeah, motherfuckers like the truth. We can talk about that
Biggest fan of all three people.
on the like way. I'm like shit, man. Like I was like, I don't got shit to talk about this week, but that reminded me of something. But yeah, motherfuckers think you they fan and shit. But so I'm gonna steer into this kid and proclaim that I am indeed your biggest fan, whoever you are listening. I'm all about you.
I think that's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet.
Hey man, instead of me fighting it like, nah, fuck you. I want a real relationship, like a friendship or whatever. Cause some people don't even want to be friends. They just want fans. They just want you to follow them on
Right.
their shit,
Right.
the snap, the gram, the whatever, and then keep it, at an arm's length. And it's like, I could get mad and be like, well, fuck you. Who are you? Da da da. But that's not my energy. So yes, I am your fan, bitch, and I will follow you.
But maybe like if you really want to ride trends, you should not be people's fans because it's definitely pays off to have a I don't give a fuck attitude until the FBI knocks
Until
on
the
your
FBI
door.
knocks. But I'm for sure being sarcastic. In that. I'll tell that story if we get to it. But nah, fuck you and your life and your family. I'm
there
not a
we
fan.
go. There we
I'm
go.
not a fan.
You're
You dirty bitch.
we are the hottest podcast
Yeah,
in the
boy.
city.
Bronx. We the hottest podcast in the Bronx. Nobody in the Bronx is doing numbers like we doing.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like
Yep.
we got like 15 views on our last joint. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Ain't nobody
right.
fucking with those numbers. So
We
respect.
on the
You know,
4 for
we
4.
we humble, but then at the end of the day, ain't nobody as hot as we are right now.
There we go.
Coming out the Bronx like we doing. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the voice that we should be going with right there. I mean, like, who could touch us? Who could touch us, really? Ain't
I
nobody.
don't see 'em. I don't see 'em.
I don't see them. I definitely don't see them.
Where you at? Where you at?
Exactly.
Come forward. Come for the crown.
We're just so high up that they can't. We can't even see them.
100. So yeah, I'm the house, and we got hot pockets in the building.
Always.
I'm saying record crates and cassette tapes coming at you before Turkey Day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I might throw this out on Turkey Day as a nice, reminder for everybody to be thankful for the hottest podcast in the streets right now.
That's right.
And also, you need a break from your family and shit, because,
Gives you
you
something
know,
to listen to.
you ain't trying to hear your uncle talk about, what it says in the Bible and shit like that, and giving your auntie shit for bringing her best friend to the family crib. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear that shit this Thanksgiving. We want to listen to your boys talk that nonsense, talk that real shit. So I'm gonna definitely bless y'all. Happy Thanksgiving, bitches.
So you really like nothing in the music world is really interesting you right now this week.
I mean, I haven't. Nah. I mean, other than like the Takashi joint, him and being in jail and shit, and they deny him bail and all kinds of this that.
Well,
Like,
that-
he about to we will go in on that, but I think
absolutely.
he'll be all right. I don't know. I mean, I would
Really?
I'll be surprised if he fucking if they make an example out of dude that he get like life. You know what I'm saying? That seems extreme. And then knowing the Takashi type of dude, he go, they'll make a deal with your ass if you rat him out. If you rat out some people, you know what I'm saying? They gonna shave. Maybe he'll get some time, but I don't think it's gonna be no 30 years, 15 to life. Nothing what are they talking about? But it's not looking good for the New York native. He him and his boys. I haven't read too much up on it, but From everything I read, they just was out there wild and like just acting like they playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and just what I'm saying, like really shooting up places and robbing people. They just racketeering them kinds of different charges they got. They facing. They just out there like really playing life like it's a video game, and they got the white folks in suits is like, yo, we about to go y'all talk about getting a bag, we about to get a bag by putting y'all niggas in jail right now. So it's not looking good for him. I mean, I'm not a hater, I'm not a fan of his, but I do wish I hope he get out of that. I hope it don't. I wish him the best for sure.
Oh, I think that's pretty nice of you. So I did read into this and definitely had to look into it. Honestly, I gotta say I can't wait until it becomes probably what's gonna be one of the best Law and Order episodes SVU in a long time.
And Matt, they go cause that's the big secret. A lot of people that don't fuck with Law and Order super heavy, or they just miss shit. They the type of motherfuckers that watch a movie and be like, who's that? Who's that? But yeah, Law and Order just straight up steal from headlines and shit.
SVU is gonna go hard on this.
That would be amazing if they actually.
It's not. It's not. It would be. Is going to happen. That's a guarantee. And to do that, I have to give you the story. All right. You heard the rumors. Let me give you the story as to this whole saga. Yeah. Now, to go into who Tekashi 6ix9ine is, I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm just gonna go straight into where it all began in the sense of his criminal controversy.
Yeah, nothing to do with his music. They calling it a gang. I forgot the
Trey 9 Bloods.
The Trey 9, yeah. There's a whole.
But even before that, because this is relevant, even before the Trey 9 Bloods, we're gonna go into Tekashi's first case, which he was previously going to court for, and he was in probation of. Now, back when Tekashi was 17 or 18, he says 18. No, he says 17, and the cops say 18 when this happened. He did one of his music videos back when nobody knew him, and in this music video, he had a 13-year-old girl naked, and he was simulating a three-way with him and another rapper for his music video. So naturally, cops caught on. This 13-year-old girl appeared to be in a sex act, so he got hit with the charge for that. So he had been going back and forth for a long time, even to this day, and had received community service and probation for 10 years to, that was his sentence. So he was currently on probation. Now, the second case that comes in, what's bizarre about this is that just last week, Tekashi had announced that he had fired his whole team. Yeah, I saw that. It came out really random. These were people he, super into claiming that he's part of this group. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly he fires his whole team. These are people who are just constantly in his videos. Yeah.
People he probably started with, probably. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them. Now, he went on the Breakfast Club again for the second time.
I seen that. I didn't check it out.
I saw it. And it was good.
I did see Charlamagne had posted something on Instagram where he's like, because I guess it's like an hour-long interview. And
I watched the whole thing.
There were several points in the interview where he was like stumped. Yeah. And he was like, and then it was like like 3 parts montage of him being stumped and not being able to answer whatever. Right. And then Charlamagne was likened it to a man being caught cheating, and then you try to explain your way out of it. And it was just him just completely stuck reading shit just completely unprepared seemingly.
hold on. That's all
Yeah,
he
a lot
pretty
of
much
that.
said throughout the
Which
entire
was
interview.
isn't like the previous interview that I recall. It was a lot of that kind of shit anyway. But
I
I
think
definitely gonna check out this hour long shit. And that had to been
what?
that wasn't because the shit with him getting arrested was like what, Tuesday, or
Yeah.
the so that interview it probably came out like probably was like Friday, or it was recent.
Yeah.
That was very
Yeah,
recent.
this
That's
all
what's
happened within the span of
yeah.
this week.
That's what's crazy. How recent all that was.
But
Breakfast Club getting that money.
here's the thing. In this interview what we saw was a lot less defensive Takashi. In the
Okay.
first Breakfast Club interview, he seemed to be on the defensive when being approached about the kind of energy that he was portraying and
Mm.
just his portrayal of what he represented in general.
Yeah, yeah.
What we got to see in this second Breakfast Club interview was a kid who was really kind of explaining his point of view in a very likable way. And
All right.
I left,
Like he was kind of getting like he got it. Like he was
yeah,
getting it.
he
He
was
was
getting his shit
listening to
together.
people. He got somebody in his life that they explain his shit to him in a way that he's picking up on.
No, I think what happened was is that there were a lot of close calls for Takashi.
Yeah, for sure.
Like his
I mean, he
first,
almost like the couple not too long ago he got shot at and shit. Music
yeah,
video shoot.
and that was all after his first Breakfast Club interview.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
After his Breakfast Club interview, where he stated that he was going to be the highest watched video, which it wasn't.
Shout out to Monique.
No, shout out to Birdman.
Yeah, well, nothing could beat Birdman, but you know.
But he actually like kind of double backed in the second interview. He's like, no, I didn't say I'd be the most watched video. I said I'd be the most watched interview. Exactly. He's a real fucking Donald Trump with shit like this. Yeah. He just likes to kind of flip his perspective a lot, and just people tend to go with it. But anyway, I did find him more likable in that interview. He seemed to have calmed down from what he had been portraying, because after what had happened in between those two interviews was he had to go back to jail. He got arrested for assaulting that kid out in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go through a bunch of lawyers' fees. He had to go through a lot of shootout dramas. He got into a lot of fights out in the public. So he really was trying to present himself as a kid who really saw that, there were things on the line, and he was just dealing with a lot of angry and bitter people, which could be the case. A lot of angry and bitter people who just kind of hate on his, rise to fame.
Yeah.
But soon after that second interview, he got picked up by the feds, and this is where things kind of get funny. Now the reason he claims that he fired his team was he had a certain price for what he does for a show. So Takashi says that nowadays he doesn't do anything other than $300,000 per show. So he had saw recently that he just kept seeing shows that were just way under his price tag. So he kept getting $60,000 thrown his way where he should be making $300,000 and up.
Yeah.
So he started to wonder why. So one day he gets a call from one of the promoters who had booked him for a show. Mm-hmm. Got to speak to them directly. He never really handled anything. Right. He had a team of people who did shit, set him up.
I know where this is going already.
All right. So he the promoter actually hits him up, and he's like, "Why are you not going to my show?" And Takashi tells him straight up, "Well, look, you paid $60,000. I don't do anything under than $300." And he says, "What are you talking about?"
Of course.
I paid $3.6 million for a couple of shows. So Takashi kind of had a flabbergasted moment, as he describes, like that's a whole bunch of money that just went missing and he never saw anything of. So he still didn't do the show and was just like, look, if you got a problem, tell them to give you the money back. So the promoter hits him back up and says, look, the reason I'm contacting you directly is because of that. I'm just trying to get my money back. And your booking agency just gave me the address to your mother's house and said, go do something to his mom's if he won't do the show. So that's when, according to Takashi, that was when he decided, fuck all these niggas. And decided to just fire the entire team.
Yo, on some real, like, I'm sure he's not the only artist to, like, come to that point. Like, then if you don't, I mean, I'm sure he got some type of, like, legal representation, but probably not as much, like, is probably not up to snuff to the money that he's dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's, I'm sure artists looking at the situation, I'm talking old and young, they like, yeah, of course. Because they done, it probably took them longer to realize that. Actually, like some artists, if they naive enough, you know what I'm saying? If they ain't, because Tekashi being the type of dude he is, he going, nah, I'm not, I won't do it. You know, right. Some artists, they be like, all right.
I don't give a fuck.
If that's my going rate, you know, it's not a bad, they making money.
Right.
So that shit was gonna slide for a hot minute until something taxes or something come up. But I'm sure he is not alone in that. Motherfuckers will, you know, you got a cash cow, you gonna milk that shit. You gonna milk that motherfucking cow.
Absolutely. Now because this is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this Law and Order episode. So this is Tekashi's version of the story. Now, other hip-hop news outlets also reached out to Tekashi's booking agency. Their version of the story is very different.
Okay.
And what you have here is a real he said, she said. Now, the booking agency stance is Tekashi also claimed that he does not have a manager. He never did have a manager. There's nothing he ever signed. There's, you know, all of these positions, all of these people that he had do things for him. There was never, like, they were never officially on any type of payroll. That's a weird part that I just want to throw in there. Now, according to the booking agency states, yes, the deal was for $3.6 million. However, it was for a series of shows, and for the booking agency, they take 20%. And then the manager, the person who has set that up, takes 10%, standard. So booking agency takes 20, manager takes 10, standard. We've all heard this number before if you've ever watched TV. Manager takes 10%. So that's 30% from the agency that was working with Tekashi to get him into these shows. And then on top of that, taxes. You're in the $3.6 million tax bracket. That's 50. When you're in the millions, you get taxed 50%, which is why taxes are always a big deal. So they're stating that after the fact, after these percentages got taken away,
it's up to snuff.
It's up to the cash that got deposited. That's what he got. That's what he earned after the fact. And after everybody
got paid. I mean, yeah,
right? So, what becomes an even like more downward spiral is that, yes, Tekashi, it's like not a secret. It's in his songs. He's part of, you know, the Trey 9 Blood, Treyway. You've heard the shit before. These guys were involved in multiple shootings that Tekashi had been indirectly involved in. And not in the sense that where he was holding the gun, but he was at the scene where the place happened. And the feds had already They know that the Trey 9 Bloods were responsible for the violence that occurred in places that he was at.
Yeah.
And he just fired them niggas. He just fired all of them. So now you have this federal case.
So hold on, he fired the niggas before they jumped on him? Before...
Yeah. He fired them shortly before the Fed scooped them.
Imagine that.
That's the worst. That's the worst shit in the world.
You think that's coincidence? Though. Think about this. He fired them and then he get picked up.
No. It's not a coincidence because according to the feds, the reason that they happened, the reason why they picked him up now, is because after he fired them, the feds had them on wiretap.
So they start talking that shit.
They started talking about getting Tekashi. So they put a hit on him. Talk about they were gonna super violate him.
So the feds.
So the feds had to intervene
because I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they dimed him out type of shit. But in a way, yeah. But then
according to Tekashi, after he he went up to them. And he spoke to them about the money, and he spoke to them about the money missings. And why is he getting this short change? He they threatened like, oh, if you fire us, we're gonna go to TMZ and we're gonna tell them all the shit that we know about you. So they did do that, and he fired them anyway. And then they started talking about how they were gonna get his ass. So the feds had to pick up Tekashi.
So they was probably waiting for...
They've been waiting.
Like a bigger, like, you know, just letting it pile up. You know what I'm saying? They might have been just waiting for everything to pile up before they start swooping in.
Here's a fun fact.
They've been listening.
If the feds pick you up, they have a 99% success rate.
Yeah, because they wait. They don't do like, you know what I'm saying? They don't just go, hey, what's he doing? Let's go get him.
They ain't the NYPD. No.
They sit there. They wait. Okay, he doing that. Then they listen. They wait. They watch and watch.
They had these dudes on wiretap.
Yeah, they've been watching for a long time.
The moment dude said super violate, it was just like, all right, pick him up.
I mean, that's thank God for the feds, then, right? If you Tekashi, because he might have got.
No, he gets dumber.
I mean,
it gets dumber. So guess what? The feds pick him up. They're like, hey, listen.
This is what's happening.
They put a hit out on you.
And then what?
He decided not to cooperate. He has taken no deals. Currently speaking, he decided not to cooperate. Keep his gangster, right? I thought, which I give him credit for. I thought he was going to fold immediately.
Bitch nigga, little skinny nigga. Yeah.
Exactly. But he decides not to cooperate, so now he's in Gen Pop. Probably with the dudes he just fired.
And he's in there. I mean, that's just not good, man. That's just not a good look. I mean, it's not safe, man. I mean, I'm a pussy, man. Like I'm gonna tell you though, if me and you was doing some wild shit now, if I get you and I'm like, yo, I'm about to go kill this nigga.
What does snitch stand for?
I don't even know. What is it?
Sorry, nigga, I'm trying to come home.
That's brilliant because yo, if we on some shit and I'm like, yo, we gonna fuck this nigga because I done been in my feelings to where I might ride on somebody and I'm like, yo, let's go. You ready? And then for whatever reason you're like, all right, that sounds like we could just fuck him up and get away with it. And then we get pinched. I'm gonna say it's all your idea, nigga. I'm not. Fuck that. I might not do that. I might do that though. If they come at me with some, look, you facing X amount of years, this, that, and that, I'm gonna shit.
For the RICO case.
Fuck that.
For the RICO case, for clarity, for the RICO case of racketeering.
That's big business, isn't it? That's a lot.
For racketeering, gun possession, and drug.
What is racketeering for my mind? That's like when you That's not like. That's when you have a front for a business, like
yes.
a fake business, but then you're really doing something else.
For criminal, It's
criminal
a fancy
activity.
word for organized crime.
Yeah, so you got illegal money coming in, but then you got a front for it.
Exactly.
That could be anything, but it's just a front for the money because where you getting all that money from? Oh, I got this fake business, and it's all right.
So the Train 9 Bloods are associated with drug dealing, selling weed, Molly.
Racketeering comes with the territory
exactly.
when you're dealing with drugs and guns, I'm sure.
And this is a guy who's been rapping about how he's been down with the Train 9 Bloods for a long time now.
I mean,
for the past year.
That's what the fuck you get though. I mean, what you think is gonna happen? Like,
oh, so your mind changed a little bit. Because at the beginning you were just like, I wish him well.
I do wish him well, but then even if the story was different and he got shot and killed, I would be like, I'm sad because I don't know him, I know nothing about him, but I don't like hearing anybody losing their life. You know what I'm saying? Whether forever or whether that means being killed or being jailed for life or whatever. It's just a sad thing because it didn't have to be that. So I'll be sad just because. But then that's the fuck you get. Like, you know what I'm saying? You my uncle used to say, like, when me and my cousins should be running around playing and then somebody fuck around get hurt. And you hear that siren of cry from far.
Yeah.
And he would say, another satisfied customer. And that meant, and he would always say, well, you've been campaigning all day. You've been doing a lot of dangerous shit and you finally got hurt. So he been campaigning since he been out here. And he done, now, if anything, he got a lot to rap about now. If he get off, he could rap his ass off about, they tried to get me, but but.
And this is the discussion, I've had before, and, from a legal perspective, I personally think that he's gonna claim innocent. I think based off the story, I think he kind of saw the feds on his ass. That's why he decided to fire his crew to kind of distance himself from the Train 9 Bloods.
So you don't think necessarily it was about the money and all that?
No.
That's just like a front for...
No. I think...
Because like you said, like you explained, it sounds about right. Like, it don't sound like nobody was stealing from him. So...
Right. However, I do think that with all of the violent activity that he's been indirectly involved in, especially with the shooting at the music video that he was trying to do and things like that, I think he knew that some shit was about to go down, so he had to distance himself from these guys.
So now he could claim, I fired them because
exactly
they was wilding, this, that, and the other. I didn't know.
But here's why it doesn't matter. That first case, he's on probation.
He's on probation, yeah. I was going to ask you about it. Yeah.
So that's a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah,
so he could get off scot-free, and then the moment he walks out those doors a free man, they're going to be like, gotcha, bitch. Probation, 4 years. Probation violation.
Yeah.
But with this case, he's facing a minimum of 32 years if he loses his case.
That's a long motherfucking time, cuz.
Minimum 32 years.
20-year-old Joe, man, that's a long.
But even if he got off innocent and had to do his
still going down.
He's going down for 4 years. And in 4 years, that's a long time for them teenage kids
who
love you to grow the fuck up and not like you no more.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah. It'll take a miracle for him to get out of that situation unscathed right now, because that's 4 years. I would think in most entertainment avenues, like 4 years to just be gone, and then try to make a comeback. Like, really, how what actor would just dip for 4 years and come? You know what I'm saying? Unless they're just so amazingly talented. Like, not everybody's an Adele. And like, Adele could dip for a number of years, come back with an album.
That's true.
Motherfuckers jump on it, but not everybody could do that. Most people, they got to be on soundtracks. They gotta do acting. They gotta be on it. Like, so he
there
might.
there has to actually be a talent, is what you mean.
On yeah,
And
that
in
would
this
help.
particular case, Takashi 6ix9ine is not a talent rapper. He's
But
a
then, so you don't think like if let's say you get 4 years and
Mhm.
come out, you don't think he could like? I mean, and that's the thing too. Like the game gonna change. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like things change, especially now. Like maybe back in the '80s or something. You know what I'm saying? Like where things moved slower. Now, like season to season, the game changes. So worked, what's working now, ain't gonna work in 22 or something shit like that. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
I like to think about J. Cole's song 1984. Now 1984 is a song that he made that addresses the new wave rappers, and it's a pretty it's a song that you really got to listen to because it's just so many solid points.
yeah, like a lot of songs.
This is true, but this one hits home particularly for a lot of younger rappers because he just says shit that's just so close to home. Like that shit hurt my feelings
Mm.
just listening to the kind of points that he was making. So in the song, he addresses that if your skills are not sharp, the fact of the matter is that eventually the kids who enjoy your music are going to grow up and eventually they're going to grow out of the fucking fad
Yeah,
that you were
yeah,
rapping about. So the I don't give a fuck attitude, the rainbow hair, and all of the attention seeking things that
yeah.
attracted these young
They're
kids,
gonna grow out of that shit.
they're gonna grow out of it. So eventually, they're gonna have kids of their own and won't be able to relate to the I don't give a fuck mentality anymore.
And they even if they don't relate now, they still be like they can see some novelty in it, like it's cool or whatever, or it's funny. And it's not just it just won't be funny, to them when they like you say got kids of their own or got a career and whatever. They just they not gonna have time for that bullshit. It's
And
just it's kind of the same with like boy bands back in the day.
I
Like, you know
was
what I'm
I
saying?
was, I
Like,
was just about
everybody's
to say
like,
that. Like it goes
everybody,
across all genres.
most people, not most people, like, a lot of people got a damn NSYNC record in their collection. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have an NSYNC
But,
record in my collection.
I mean, I wanted to say, like, most women, but I didn't want to be
Okay, all
sexist.
right.
But,
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't
Like,
have one.
but I don't. But then, a lot of people have, like, guilty pleasures, they call it.
Absolutely.
I don't subscribe to that because if I like it, it's dope. So fuck that bullshit. But a lot of people have shit that they fucked with, whether it be an artist or music, a certain genre or certain TV shows that now they're embarrassed to say they ever fucked with, and a lot of these talentless or not as talented as others. A lot of these musicians, they're gonna be, they're gonna be, when they do the nostalgia shows on VH1, they're gonna be like, oh, what happened to that guy? He gonna be on there like, yeah, that was fun, and and they be talking about how he worked at Starbucks or something. It's gonna be an awakening for a lot of cats, but then that's just the nature of the game. Like if you put yourself in a position and then if you don't take the craft seriously enough, you will outgrow your usefulness. You'll miss your wave will pass, and then you won't be valuable no more.
But that's the thing. Like this is really where it comes down to the difference between skill
Yeah.
and fad. So the fact of the matter is that the artists that we see that have lasted for a long time is skill. You can't say Jay-Z doesn't have skills. This motherfucker's been in the game for how long?
Decades.
Like you just can't say that for the dudes who have
I mean,
lasted
and then
this far into the game and can still make albums.
that's why, and then that's also why dudes like that don't. You see them, they don't really move how not even I'm gonna go that low to like a Takashi, but like they don't move how a lot of young dudes move because they already did the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They already on some other shit. That's and I do like people on Jay-Z level,
M's level.
M's level. They when they were in that spot, they were getting a little hot or whatever. Cause Jay-Z's first one, a lot of those dudes like they first record that pop, they don't like it. They not gonna sit there and listen to that first album or
Yeah,
whatever. Cause
word.
they kind of ashamed because they as soon as they got on, they went back to the lab and was like, all right, so what's next? What's next? What's next? How to top me? How to better attack this game and how to top themselves every time. And they all got they could probably list a laundry list of fellow artists, people that they used to run with or whatever that just ain't they didn't stick with it, they ain't last. And the only difference to your point is skill. And skill ain't you know uh, like with a singer is a little different. Singer that it could be just born they just born with that super talent to be able to sing, but then they still had to work at that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my little bias because I think it's harder to write and rap than it is to sing. Because if you could sing, you could just sing. You don't have to like get better at singing. Like Mariah Carey, she could sing, but you see how that you lose that, right? So maybe
Yeah.
if she had, worked on her songwriting and so maybe she could coast for, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Maybe she could have rocked for a little bit. But, when you talk about a dude, Eminem and Jay-Z and these dudes, they take it so seriously that they almost it's not it's an obsession to the point they weren't obsessed with. And then back then, even with Eminem, that was before social media and all that. It wasn't about the headlines and I mean helps and all that. That's why Eminem always taking shots at the Britney Spears and all these good people. But I guarantee at when he was putting together an album, each time it's like I'm gonna be better than me of 2 years ago, me of last year.
Absolutely.
And that what separates a Takashi from a J. Cole because
Absolutely.
they it's an art to them. It's not about money. It's not about clout. It's not about fame. It's about being the best them they could be. And then if that's not how you roll, you gonna make some millions as we've seen, but as we've also seen, it don't last.
No.
And you would think they would learn because motherfuckers be trying to tell them on interviews, but they don't. They be feeling themselves.
And it's
shit.
funny because like now there's an interview with Tekashi 6ix9ine and Fat Joe, where Fat Joe told him about how the feds would get you if you continued on this bullshit that you on.
Damn. Joe done seen he done seen niggas go down. I'm sure, many.
No, he was talking about his own experience where
But I'm
he
saying
had
even him
interactions with law enforcement.
Yeah, and then he has been lucky. You know what I'm saying, or whatever to.
Because back in the day, he was on his Terror Squad shit.
Yeah, but then I'm sure some of them niggas went down.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
You don't hear Terror Squad anymore when he raps.
I'm sure the ones that didn't go down is chilling, happy as fuck. They didn't go
Terror
down.
Squad is just Fat Joe and Remy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's the thing too. That comes with age and shit. Like when an OG tell you something, they not just telling you something. They really looking out. You know what I'm saying? They trying to help you out, and if you don't listen, it's like it's sacrilege, man. Like
it's
listen to them.
It's actually very sad. It's
because
really sad.
And then I wasn't aware of that interview. I would like to check that out. But that sounded like it was a while back because I haven't seen nothing in that. But bro, like I said, you gotta when an OG sit you down and then whatever however he do it, Listen to them OGs. They know what the fuck they talking about. Whatever subject is about, whether it's about some bitches, or it's about work, whatever, street, money, they know what the fuck they talking about. Especially if y'all in the exact same field.
But that's what makes it
It's sad.
like in the large picture. What you have here is an old man, an older generation talking to this younger generation about
Being smart.
the dark path that they're on,
Yeah.
because the older generation had been through it and they suffered for it. And what you have is a younger generation who doesn't listen to that, and they too then suffer from not listening, and then become the older
OG.
generation.
Yeah, they gon'
that's gonna tell the younger generation after them.
100%.
Like, if I had listened to the OG back in my day.
If it's not Tekashi,
that's who Tekashi's gonna be.
That's what if it's not him, it's gonna be like one of his mans or something. He gon' somebody in his circle is gonna be the OG, talking to the 25-year-old kid 20 years from now, like, hey man, this ain't where it's at. You gonna there's only a couple ways this could end up for you, type of shit. I guess that's just the cycle of life, man. It's fucked up because, like,
it becomes
kind of
a
what
pointless cycle of life.
Yeah, because it's fucked up. What's fucked up about it is like what you make it seem from the Breakfast Club interview. He kind of he's starting to wise up a little bit, but then now it might be too late. You know what I'm saying? So.
For sure.
That's
it's
the fucked up
too
part.
late. Like, no matter how you look at it, there's no way he walks from this unscathed.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, man.
If he's innocent, he has to serve out the rest of his sentence for violating his probation.
Yeah.
If he's guilty, he has to spend the rest of his life, essentially the rest of his life, in prison.
Yeah, and then they definitely gonna. I mean, you got this rainbow-haired, tattooed, faced-ass motherfucking kid. All pretty and shit. They gon' make an example out of him for sure. I mean, if you're an attorney, why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? You can't wait to work on this case. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a show. It's going to be on. I don't know how court TV work, but it's going to be a case. People going to be watching for sure.
What's funny is I have jury duty next week, so like, I wish.
Imagine. Yeah, but then the fucked up thing, you can't talk about it.
I can't, but like it would I wouldn't make it onto the jury because it'd be a real Uncle Ruckus moment. You know that nigga guilty. I'd have too much of that in me.
Yeah.
To not do it. But like I even started looking into the FBI, what they released as their evidence. And like, the reason they picked Tekashi 6ix9ine up was not without reason. It wasn't to make an example. It's like, here's surveillance footage of you and the people who assaulted and had guns on them. Here you go. Like, that shit is already online. Like, here's you and here's your team with the guns. You didn't have a gun on you, but guess what? It's not good enough.
Yeah, you was there, you was down.
The reason they're there is because of you, because you the face.
Yeah, it's not looking good. That's what happens when you think life is Grand Theft Auto, man. When you think it's fucking an episode of Empire or something. Yeah, but it'll be. I mean,
it's gonna be the best Law and Order episode that they've had in years. And I can't wait to see Ice-T talking to the Tekashi 6ix9ine character.
What do you think they would name the 6ix9ine? Fake 6ix9ine.
It has to be something real fucking cornballish. It'll be like fucking 11 on his face or something. Fucking anime 11 rapper. I don't know, but it's probably gonna be something ridiculously corny, and I cannot wait for like that's I haven't watched SVU in years. I'll watch that episode.
100%.
Absolutely. Like I stopped watching after Stabler left, so definitely gonna give that episode a watch.
Speaking of Stabler, I wanted to check out I wanted to check out that show he had on like FX. I ain't never watched that shit though.
FX or
Yeah, it was on FX.
Sci-Fi?
I think it was FX. Where he was like a detective or some shit. Was that Sci-Fi?
He had a show on Sci-Fi where he played a former detective, and he had this imaginary friend.
Yeah. Okay, so then it was.
Yo,
Sci-Fi.
that shit is awesome. It's
Yeah.
called Happy.
Yeah, I wanted to check
Happy
that out.
is awesome. Definitely give it a watch. Probably be on Sci-Fi on demand or some shit. But like, that shit is good. I think they even had it like on the Sci-Fi YouTube channel as well. But definitely just a real out there kind of show. It's really weird and dark, and I think
Like it kind of gave me like Beetlejuice vibes. You know what I mean? Like
darker than that. Still funny, but definitely just like a really dark humor show.
That's me, baby. Dark and funny.
Exactly.
All day. I mean, yeah. I started this off. I was talking about not being motherfuckers fans. So I was want to real quick tell this little anecdote. It's not. I wish it was a better segue. Like this dark.
We don't need segues.
No, but so I'm out there. You know what I'm saying, I'm single. Feel me? So
Okay.
I'm on this Tinder jump off,
Okay.
and I save my super likes for like after all my regular likes is done.
As you should.
And so even some of the ones I would like, I'd be like, nah, she's not super like worthy. So there's this one.
It's the culture we live in.
Yeah. So there's this one girl. I don't even know her name really, but I super liked her. Right. She's this like heavy set white chick or something.
Mm-hmm.
And tatted up, pretty eyes. And she's pretty as fuck, but like big, right?
Got the fetish.
I mean, it was more because she got like light eyes and she's very pretty and shit. Because I didn't really see the tats in the Tinder, but then when I had we matched or whatever, I went to her profile and it was like, oh, I'm not on here a lot, but like hit me up on the gram, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll do that. That's red flag anyway. Right?
I know.
That's no good anyway. So I do that, and then I'm like, I try to come up with my funny. It was like it had snowed or something, and I said, I wish I could remember the shit I said. But a little funny joke about snow or whatever. And then the most I would get is like LOLs and like liking my messages.
Oh.
So eventually I'm like, hey, you gained a follower, bitch, but it looks like that's all you wanted. So you trying to talk or what? Like, what's up? Like, right? And so she hit me back. She go, well, I'm at the moment I'm heartbroken and some other shit, right? So I'm like, so I let that soak in for a couple hours. I'm like, heartbroken, okay. Yeah, still on Tinder and shit. Okay, heartbroken. So I go, heartbroken. First of all, what would you say if the same situation, you go, hey bitch, you trying to talk or what? And they go, well, I'm heartbroken right now. What would your reply be?
I mean,
no conversation at all. You hit them with some hackety ha, some funny. They just LOL and heart shit. But then when you, hey, what's up, bitch? They go, I'm heartbroken actually. Yada yada.
well, well, for me, it'd probably be the beginning of the end of the conversation ever.
It was.
As a whole. I'd probably just kind of prod for a little bit more information before that, though.
Yeah.
Just to know.
Curiosity. So that's what I did. I said, hey, heartbroken? Well, what happened? She replies, to something of the effect, well, I don't feel comfortable talking about it with a complete stranger. I don't feel comfortable talking about it with a complete stranger. And at that point, I unfollowed and deleted fucking everything. It's like, and then here's the capper. On her Instagram is, and I might refollow. I'll be honest. And then this is the thing. She got like 10,000 followers. It's not like she don't miss me.
No.
But on her Instagram, like that week, there's a video of her in a dress shaking her big old white ass.
Okay.
Just shaking it.
Okay.
And then there's other ones with, her laying down, showing her big old white ass.
Right.
And there's other ones with titties, showing the big ass titties.
Right. Provocative.
Very out there. So all of a sudden you want to be private? Motherfucker, like, it's weird to me, isn't it? You can't, I say, nigga, if you heartbroken, now it's time to be private? I mean, all you can say is, well, I was seeing someone and they broke my heart. It don't have to be detailed. You know what I'm saying? So what you're telling me by that is you're not trying to talk. At the end of the day, all you wanted was a follow. Because you ain't got to be super detailed. Tell me that he beat your ass or he cheated or you cheated. Well, you ain't got to tell me all that. Well, it's over this. I dated this girl or this guy or whatever. And then I got my heart broken. Okay, so now I could then counter with like, oh, I've been there, and conversation can happen.
Right.
But she's just like, I don't feel comfortable talking about it with a complete stranger. But then I can shake my ass to tens of thousands of strangers and show my titties and my naked ass to thousands of strangers. Okay, it's all right. You have a line. Your line is heartbreak, but everything else is open season.
I mean, it sounds like it was just pretty much attention seeking.
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah. When you show your tits on Instagram,
and the compliments follow, that can be a nice feeling.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. If I got, and then we all, everybody right now listening, if you on the gram, if you're a guy, we've all posted a selfie, posted a picture of ourselves with or without friends.
Right.
With or without family, with or without pets.
Right.
And we get 15 likes, 20 likes. We get some likes, comments. So cute. Oh, cute dog. Cute, whatever. Oh, that looks like fun. But then you look at your homegirl page, and she posts a bathroom selfie, and it's like 200 likes.
Right.
It's just the game, man. Like
Yeah.
we ain't nobody want to look at us, and I understand that. And I'm not even. It don't bother me. Don't look at me. I don't look at me. I don't care. But, and I understand though, like how, cause you get addicted to the likes. You know what I'm saying? And it does feel good when motherfuckers like your shit, they comment nice things. It feels great. So I can't imagine that on a I got thousands of followers level, being a female with giant breasts or whatever. Like, it's just gotta be, whenever they feel bad, I'm just gonna post this 3-month-old gif of my tits right now and feel good this afternoon,
Right.
Have a bottle of wine and feel great. But I ain't the one. I'm not gonna follow you, bitch. I'm not liking your pictures.
Did you take the likes back?
I didn't take them back. I did not. And actually, I think I liked a few after that happened. She has a really big ass, bro. It's really gigantic.
I'm just saying, like, if you really dedicated to the cause, I would have took the likes back.
I could still do it. I could still take them back. But, yeah, I felt some type of way. It's like, I have a very low tolerance for dumb shit like that. Like, anybody. Like, I've got friends where people I've hung out with, people I've met, and, of course, we all free to post shit. And then I'll like your shit if I've hung out with you, I've fucked with you. We broke bread together, this, that, and the other. So I like your shit. I'll comment something stupid on there. But then those same folks when I like hit them up to hang or something, and it's perfectly fine for them to go, nah, I got work the next morning or whatever your shit is, all good, but don't fucking. A lot of these motherfuckers ignore you like you are their fan. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the Rock, and you're like, hey Rock, next time you're in New York City, hit me up. The Rock's not going back to you. You know this already. You just throwing your shot out there, shooting your shot with the Rock. Never gonna happen. I shouldn't feel like I'm commenting on the Rock's page to a motherfucker I've met. You know what I'm saying? So I have very low tolerance for people that go about their existence as if I'm one of their fans. Because they got fans, I'm sure, but I'm not one of them. Because I will unfollow your ass in a minute. And I'm sure you won't miss me, bitch, and I won't miss you neither.
I mean, me personally, I wouldn't, like, me personally, I'm not following anybody
who you don't fuck with
with thousands of followers,
no, absolutely
unless I'm like a huge fan of the work that they do.
Some actor, some musician band.
Exactly, like, but like if you're just a regular person with thousands of followers,
red flag,
I'm not gonna follow you.
Red flag automatically.
I just anybody really, because honestly, I just.
Why would you want to be one of the thousands, the million, and then, it's not gonna end well.
Like I'm not interested in
and what you're eating.
Sarah's fucking Sarah no name.
Her Saturday night.
Her Saturday night of fucking taking pictures of like the city lights. Man, fuck you and your cheap ass wannabe photographer ass picture. I'm not doing that.
It's
So it's always been that way for me. Just like it's either gonna be close, it's either gonna be friends that I know or somebody that I'm really interested in just finding out what they're doing. Like that's
it's
a real celebrity. Yeah. But Instagram celebrities, not so much.
I don't get it.
I'm following Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't follow him on Instagram. That's just. Fuck that.
Because you will read about whatever he does.
Exactly.
Whatever happens, it will come up on your feed somehow. But you don't gotta really be on his page like that.
I'll save that shit for World Star.
He'll be on there.
Exactly. Like I don't really need to.
Yeah, I felt some type of way. This big bitch called me a stranger, bitch. We matched together on Tinder, bitch. We're not a stranger.
I liked your face. What happened?
You liked me. I liked you, bitch. We're not straight. But anyway, it's whatever. I don't dwell on it too much. But then like that was an extreme case because like you said, she is one of those with many followers. Yeah, so it's a red flag off the bat. But then I get pissed when it's like someone you feel like you know, and then it's the same kind of bullshit. But
I don't think I've ever really experienced that, like with somebody I know.
Yeah, I mean, motherfuckers just don't fuck with me, I guess. But I just want to throw that little story out there because, and then I might even I'm not gonna do that. I wish I knew her name and shit so I could be like, fuck her, but fuck that fat bitch. Fucking I'm not, and then the thing is, it'll be that, or like, even like someone I'll meet and hang out with and shit, and talk to, text, call even, and then all of a sudden they would just dead you on like kind of the same shit. It's like, I mean, you think, I don't know, it's like, you're a very replaceable person, is what, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Not following?
No, I'm not following.
There's just people that treat you as if you're expendable. Even like real life people you like meet and touch, and you hug them and you meet their siblings and shit, and they just treat you like you're not a real person.
a real person. I mean, I guess for me, like, I can't see it because normally I typically don't care. I
Yeah,
guess, like,
yeah.
you know, like,
And that's the best way to be. And then also because you got, and I don't give a fuck. But then it just like it. I give a fuck to a little bit to where it's like, you know, because like maybe I had like if I like the person, then it's like I get a little in my feelings and shit. But like this
just
fat bitch, I don't care. You know, I really don't. It's just funny
just
that she
the
said.
approach.
Yeah, it's funny what she said. But then other people, I don't know what the fuck it is. Cause like it'll be even guys like I'll be like, hey, you know, let's fucking hang out and whatever the fuck, or go to a bar or smoke. I'll smoke you out or something. And you just dead me like I'm not like you don't nigga we used to hang out like whatever the fuck, and they just whatever. But then like you said,
Okay, okay.
you
I sort
typically
of
don't
no,
care. But then
no.
it's for like a half second you be like, well then fuck you too, punk.
My philosophy
Type of
is
shit.
this. All right, of course we're gonna run into people that we haven't seen in a long time. You know that it's kind of how life kind of
Yeah,
flows.
yeah, yeah.
You know, shit happens in your life where you have this day to day routine and you kind of fall off with extended parts of your life.
Yeah.
So
And then when somebody,
so when it's been a while for that branch, you kind of like haven't connected with for a while. Um, like there's a disconnect,
yeah,
and what used to be there is kind of dulled.
yeah,
But
it's past.
for me, when I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect in my head, it's just like I'm gonna get some new friends.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to for sure. It's like, and
that's where I'm at with
yeah,
that.
and that's really all you could do, and that's what I mean. And I'm sounding real bitter and shitty right now, but that's what I've done. I've just make new friends and fucking hang out with them. Fuck you, and that's where
And
that's my shit. Where I'm like, I'm not your fan. You know what I mean? Because like if okay, so I'm gonna friend you on all the social media shits and whatever, but then we can't hang out, and I know you. I'm not your fan, Like
right.
to me, I'm like you think I'm a fan of some shit. I'm not just gonna like your shit and comment. You know what I mean? If we're not really gonna know each other, quote unquote, friends or whatever you want to call it, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna make new friends now.
Yeah, I
and
mean
then
that's my particular take
yeah,
on it. I usually just get new friends.
for like a little, for a tiny little bit, I'm like, fuck you, But yeah, I just get over it and like, cause what you learn when you get older is like, there's always more people. There's an endless supply of people in life.
I mean, we're in New York City, and
The mecca of humans. There's just nothing but people.
like here's the shit, right? I've been friends with you guys for a very long time, and it's no secret that I've been into like fucking anime since I was a teenager, right? Okay. You guys aren't as into that shit as I am.
Yeah, definitely not me. Yeah.
For real. And so for me, it was just like, all right, there are fucking New York City clubs, plural.
Yeah, and you've told me
for fans, and it's just like that's really all you have to do. The fact of the matter is like if I can't, get a certain connection that I'm craving at the moment,
there's an app for that, literally.
Yeah, there's outlets for that. So like it really doesn't matter. Yeah. So like whatever you're craving for connection over something, like there's just groups of people who are just like, well, come on in, this is all we fucking talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think about this a little bit sometimes. There's just so many people in the world, like billions of people, And I'm like, it makes sense that a lot of people treat people uh, like they're expendable because there's literally thousands of other people just like you somewhere. So it's like, all right, you could die, you could fuck off, and it won't matter to an individual somewhere. And it's like, imagine like a smaller town somewhere. They put up with a lot more bullshit, because there's only but so many people to hang out with. But it's all good.
Like I actually miss being able to talk to people from like out of state. Like I wish that was still a thing.
Like those old chat room days and shit.
Oh man,
That
I
was
miss
dope.
pool party.
It was like,
I miss AOL.
yeah, because you gotta. It's like traveling without traveling, because you got to at least a little bit feel like what it's like to be somewhere else. You know what I
And
mean?
like nowadays, it would be even better if that was still a thing because like now you're old enough to actually
Take advantage
travel.
of take
You
advantage
could
of some of
actually
that.
like we've all been out
We've
of state.
Yeah, we've all previously in our adolescence missed out on some good times because we were just too broke to fucking go somewhere.
For real. So like
Yeah, it's a damn shame that chat rooms ain't the shit right now. We grew up in the wrong era, kind of.
because that'd be great. Like it'd be great to fucking start a rapport with somebody from like Florida and then be like, oh well, you know what? I'm gonna take a trip out there.
You know what? Next month I'm there. I'm gonna hit you up.
So like, uh, yeah, that's essentially what I do. Like honestly, just if I have a craving for a particular like social outlet, like I know that like outside of like the social clubs of New York City, like the internet is out there to just kind of connect with people who just have the same interests as you. And it doesn't really matter what it is that you're fucking interested in, whether it be something as like hobbyish like anime or just people who just kind of
Pets.
like to
Fucking like,
pets.
hey, I love cats. And, oh, fuck cats, good, love cats. I got a tabby, man, whatever the fuck. I don't even know if a tabby is a cat, but
Tabby is a cat.
there you go. But yeah, but I just wanted to tell that little anecdote about that fat chick. It was funny. But the other shit that I came across, I think is kind of interesting, is a shit they call blackfishing.
Blackfishing. What is blackfishing?
So it's essentially like Instagram models and shit, right? But then they like either tan or put on like bronzer and shit so that they appear black. And now a big thing with social media these days is you could make money on it for sure, but then it's like you could get like like companies will send you beauty products to try and just, you know what I'm saying, sell it by being like, okay, this is a dope product that they sent me for free,
Fashion
just so that so there's a bunch of white chicks that pretend to be black on like Instagram and shit, and they, I guess, are stealing some of the modeling opportunities from black Instagram models. And so, cause then it's like, is it blackface? Is it just whatever? I mean, personally, none of this shit bothers me. But then, I've read a lot of people get upset about that shit.
About black, yeah,
about white chicks pretending to be black on Instagram.
So what it is that you have white people stealing our jobs.
Essentially,
Yeah.
yeah. They're Rachel Dolezal in the Instagram market.
Yeah, she's still at it.
She's still doing work? I thought she was gonna change her name. I saw her documentary.
She did change her name,
And she's still
but
popping out
she changed her name so she could still keep going to these fucking rallies, fighting for the cause.
Hey man, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck. I don't care. Like Halloween costumes and shit, motherfuckers pretend to be Kanye and whoever. it don't bother me. Like I don't give a fuck. Blackface, you do. I mean, because for me, it's all about intent. Like and then a lot of people they will say, well, you can't just opt in and out of being black. I mean, who gives a fuck? Like they're not going on a job interview. I guess that would be to their point anyway, but they're not reaping any benefits. You know what I'm saying? They're just Kanye West for Halloween. They're not. I mean, maybe they are going to like the
Yeah.
Gap as a black person, but
I mean, I think the thing is like it's coming off as a mocking sort of thing.
yeah. But I mean, it just the act of putting on a darker skin tone, I don't think is mocking. Like if you were to then, let's say you do that, and then you know, speak in a certain mannerism that's like gangster or whatever, or use slang while you're doing that, then I could kind of maybe see how it's mocking. But like, if you just fucking, I mean, it's problematic in a way, but I don't. It doesn't bother me because I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I mean, all right. I want to put you in a certain scenario to see how you'd feel.
Yes.
Let's say you're at an office job and you have this coworker. Now, you know the life that you've kind of lived, you know the environment that you grew up in, and you normally don't have a problem talking about it. And sometimes the stories are funny and sometimes not so much. But then you have this coworker who would listen to your stories, and you knowing that they came from an upbringing that was not so hard, kind of compares it to your own. Like, yeah, man, I hear you. My mom's be tripping too. One time, she didn't take us on summer vacation.
I mean,
Would that person eventually annoy you?
absolutely. But then it's
I think that's
yeah.
I
But
think
then
that's
it's
the general feeling
yeah,
about
yeah. It's
the cultural appropriation, as they call it.
yeah. That is annoying, and then like I could get how big women rocking cornrows in mainstream whatever, the Katy Perry's and them, and then people like, oh well, if it was a black woman, it'd be ghetto, but then they doing it in this a fashion statement. But then I mean, it's different than someone.
Exactly. Katy Perry can get away with it, but Sharkeisha can't.
It's different. The scenario you brought up, and then just like if you had brought up a scenario where they were, instead of that person like, oh yeah, my mom's be tripping too, they were just being black, wearing Yeezys and wearing bronzer.
But they do.
Yeah, I mean, but then it's I don't know. It just if it's if you're trying to compare, like people do that shit in your day to day anyway. Like if it's just like, oh man, I had a hard day today, and they're like, well, my day. You're like, shut the fuck up. It's not about your. That's a different thing than. I don't know. It doesn't like. I kind of find it. I kind of find it flattering at the end of the day.
You find it flattering.
I mean, like Rachel Dolezal or whatever her name is. It's flat because she wants to be black so bad. So I'm kind of like, all right, you could be black. I welcome her. Be black. Come join us. You already know what it is to a degree. I mean, she done been through so much bullshit just because of how she chooses to live her life how she wants to identify, I think she's earned her black points. She could be black, I think, in my book. Like, if you are willing to do it, and that's somebody, I forgot where I heard this, but someone made the point, like, it's different if you put it on the black face for, like, pictures or a weekend versus if you're, like, you want to do that shit 24/7. Because if you want to do it 24/7, then bring it, come on to the team, because you want to live it. And I agree with that. It just doesn't bother me in general, but I'm black all day, every day. How are you mad at that? You could be mad at, like, I can understand motherfucker be mad at a Katy Perry or somebody wearing dreads or this, that, and the other, or with the outfits on, the geisha or something. Oh, you stealing our shit and your white ass don't know nothing about our culture, this, that, and the other. But if they rocking that shit every day, all day, you might as well just invite them on the team because they riding with you. They riding.
I hear that. But with Rachel Dolezal, it's a bit more complicated than that in the sense that what she did is probably one of the whitest things you could possibly ever do.
She stole a super black job. the blackest job you can have, she took it.
And not only did she take it, but when they confronted her about it, and her white ass parents came on the news and stop fronting Becky. And I found that white girls hate to be called Becky.
Yeah, that's a trigger.
Yo, it triggers them so much, but I love calling them that. It's really like saying nigger to
that, and that's
to a white girl.
That and mayonnaise.
Don't call them Becky.
That and mayonnaise, they don't like that shit. You still calling them mayonnaise or something, they don't like that.
True, but I found like Becky gets a harder reaction. Like you call them Becky is a fucking rap.
It's a problem.
But I love calling white girls Becky. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Yeah, so with like Rachel, she stole the blackest of jobs, and then when she gets confronted about it, she jumps to a whole other shit where she's just like, I'm transracial. Came up with her own fucking word. Like, this shit wasn't a thing. Like, she's just like, you know what? I'm gonna double down. Yeah. They caught me stealing this job.
But then, did you see
transracial?
Did you see the documentary shit that's on? I
saw a good portion of it.
I did, because I didn't feel no type of way anyway. But then when they was like, how she had like, because she had some black siblings or whatever, they adopted or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like she has some her story was not. Actually, her story was black and white, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. I sympathize with her. I think I think she's coming from a good place. I really do.
Towards the end of that documentary,
she's crazy, but she's coming from a good place.
Absolutely insane. Like
she's coming from a good place.
I hear that, but crazy at the same time, like you done fucked up the brothers that you claim to care so much about, and like you still keep fucking going, and like to the point where like, yo, we can't associate ourselves with you no more. And she still fucking keeps going.
She believes in that. She is black. I'm telling you.
I'm not so sure about that. It's just.
So why do you think she continues her crusade? What do you think it is? I think it's just she feels she wants to be black so bad. Like it's like I want to be black.
Yes.
I mean, and at the end of the day, isn't that it's as problematic as it is? It's coming from a good place. It's fucked up, but it's a good. She's not like an evil person.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, something like that, it's really debatable. If it's coming from a good place, but you know that it's hurting doing everybody. Bad things, is it really coming from a good place? It questions. It questions the real motive. I see shit like that, and like I could want to do good and I can have good intentions, but as soon as I realize that my good intention is doing
hurting
more
people,
good than
do
more harm than good, then
what is it?
I'm
What does it
going to
matter?
retrace that.
Yeah. And then this reminds me of the. Have you seen the story? The guy, he's like 69 years old, and he's trying to, he identifies as a 49-year-old.
Oh
He wants to,
yeah.
dial the back his barometer of life. He wants to be 49, and I mean, he's trolling as fuck. He's trolling because he's like, oh, if you could change your gender, you could change your race, you could change your age.
But
But
again,
then it raises a great. I don't think he believes in it. It just raises a. It's like, okay, so how? Like you said, even if it's coming from a genuine place, how much good is these that movement doing where you could identify as whatever the fuck you want? You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, his trolling, I'm sure, because he has good points. Like, oh, I can't get a good enough job, and I can't get pussy if I'm 69. Whatever. But I think it's just like trolling and shitting on people that want to change other shit about them. So they want to, people that want to be Latino for no reason, or want to be black for no reason, or so he's like trying to expose the ridiculousness of these,
but here's the harm.
transitional individuals.
Here's the harm. I mean, whether you approve of it or you don't, what happens with the transgender community is a real thing. These people go through some hardships that are just straight up savage, that still go on to this day. People who identify as trans male or trans female can get murdered brutally for what they believe themselves to be. The problem with people like Rachel Dolezal and this dude claiming, to be 40 years old is the fact that what they're doing, they can live the same life. They can lead the same life without having to make these ridiculous claims. People who are trans really have to go through hardships to claim their trans identity. But with people like Rachel Dolezal, like, you can darken your skin and you can put those cornrows in, honey, and no one would give a shit. The fact of the matter is that you just went in front of those cameras and just like, I'm black. I'm gonna check off African American, and I'm just gonna identify with the struggle. And like, you can support the cause. Yeah. It's not like
you don't.
She couldn't have gotten the same job. It's not like the NAACP doesn't hire white folks. It's just like, you decided to lie. You decided to come up with this bullshit ass background, and then your white ass parents exposed you for it. And for the dude who's just like, I'm 40, motherfucker, just put 40 on your Tinder profile. Fuck you.
Or your job application.
Like, no one gives a fuck.
No one's really going to check your birth certificate.
None whatsoever. So, like, the shit is like, you also have to look at this other community that goes through a very different fucking struggle. And I think that's how a lot of minorities feel when they see people, like when they see primarily white people just go in and try to fucking make their our struggle theirs.
Yeah, and they dabble in the blackness.
It's like, nah, if you haven't fucking been patted down like fucking police feeling on your balls for weapons, like, you don't know what it's not fun. No. I can tell you that shit right now. Like, Becky, I wish I had the same house as you growing up. So, like, I really don't know why you want to be in this bullshit right now.
Yeah. It's, and again, I get motherfuckers feeling the type of way when motherfuckers want to play black, because it triggers all those things you just said. But, I mean, I personally don't give a fuck. But it is like you said.
It's not that I go about my day
yeah,
even thinking about these people,
but then
I understand where the people who are just like,
nah,
you fuck you.
Don't stop it. Stop your bullshit. You fucking cracker bitch. It's yeah, and it's like most things where I just choose not to feel a type of way about it because there's a lot of things that I understand and agree with and whatever, but then I'm just like, nah, that's I'll let other people do that. I'll let other people deal with uh, black fishing or whatever they want to call it, shit on the Instagrams and Twitters. I mean, but it comes to, and then I brought up the guy because you said like it doesn't matter about like intent don't really matter because it's about kind of the results. Like, what are you doing? Is it doing good or causing harm? And at the end of the day, that's kind of really what it's about. You know, like even if you feel good about what you're doing, because that guy, he's probably he's making a stand, whatever the fuck in his mind. But people are looking at him like, yeah, you see, he's crazy. Like how
the rest of these motherfuckers are crazy too,
and that's what he wants. So then
that makes you
it
a
does
dick.
it makes you a complete asshole. And then I don't. Yeah, I mean Rachel, I don't think is as bad, but and it's close. It's close.
It is because at the end of the day, Rachel brings the problems onto herself because Rachel can still fight the good fight
as a white lady
and dress the same way. But just why give yourself this different background? This whole trans identity thing is not about a background. It's just how these people feel on the inside. Like these people are go through suicide bouts. They go through persecution.
And it's a weird thing though to like,
and they're willing to go through painful
surgery and all this painful life. It's weird though because when you think about like what it is to be a man, right, or what it is to be a woman, and then so many people have like it's there are no man jobs. There's no man personality like there's like being a man is whatever you want it to be, or being black is whatever you want it to be. So then it's weird when you have someone that's like, I'm a man, even though they were born with like tits or whatever, and they like, it's. I'm sitting on the outside like, it's just weird that it matters so much to have a dick, when the very idea many would support of being a man is whatever you want it to be, or the very idea of being black is whatever you want it to be. So why do you have to have dark skin to be black? Why do you have to wear your hair a certain way to be black? Why do you have to support whatever causes whatever to be black? But then the people that aren't black or aren't something, and they feel like they are something else, they in themselves have this idea like, I gotta check. Now I'm a man. Now I'm a woman. Now I'm black. Now I'm Latino. But then it's like, all of that is bullshit anyway. Like if you, in my mind,
to a certain extent, like it's a good point, and that's something I haven't ever really thought of. But what comes to mind when looking at it that way, I can just say this: as a person who identifies as a man, I have moments in my life where I really appreciate being a man. Like,
yes, 100%.
Like, I look at girls and like
women.
I look at women And it was just like, damn, it must suck to have a period. And then just go about my day. And then like look at my dick sometimes, I'm like, wow, I really appreciate you. So like there are moments in my man life where I really fucking appreciate
But on the flip side
my
of
man
that,
life.
there's some men out there with dicks who don't identify as men. They don't even identify as women. They're non-binary. So then, is having a dick a man thing?
I don't. I'm not even gonna get to any of the bullshit with. I came off really sensitive in the beginning, but now I'm getting real insensitive because I don't fuck with that part, the non-binary, non-gender, gender flu. I don't fuck with any of all that. Like I think that there are definitely people out there who are fucking clout chasers, and I kind of look at that little fucking subcategory right there as clout chasers. I totally believe in trans people because at the end of the day, I know what it is to appreciate who I am gender wise. So, for anybody who like feels non-binary because sometimes they want to wear a dress and then on other days they want to wear a flannel shirt, man, fuck you. Um, I that's not the struggle.
Yeah, and
The struggle is you got a dick and you feel like you don't want that dick.
I should
like
never
that
have
shouldn't.
this. Where,
I
why?
should never have that.
What is this balls? I don't want these balls.
Like
That
this,
I sympathize with those people hardcore for sure.
but like anybody who just like, well, I should wear a dress, and on some days I
but
should.
then if you
then wear your fucking dress and wear your fucking flannel and go fuck yourself. But like, don't be a part of the. You're not part of the struggle.
But then what if they do, like? Cause there's people that don't identify with a certain gender.
It's called I don't give a fuck, and it's called no one should give a fuck.
So that's
You
not
like
what non-binary is. It's just I am not any of these things.
I hear that, but at the same time, these non-binary people tend to have, I guess, the worst of them tend to have a really, vocal voice on what it is, on their struggles of not, people not understanding.
And it has to be hard as fuck, yeah, to be that.
What? Get the fuck out of here!
It's easy. It can't be easy.
It can't be easy to fucking not being able to decide if you want to dress more masculine or feminine.
It's not even.
Man,
because
fuck you.
I'm sure there's non-binary people that they stick to. They have a style that is on the outside looking in more masculine or more feminine. They just don't identify as either gender. I am not one or the other. I am me. Kind of thing.
I don't give a fuck about you, is what I'm trying to say. Like, that shit just comes off as completely clout chaser to me. Like, you feel more masculine or feminine depending. Who gives a fuck? Everybody has different feelings depending on their day. I'm more sensitive on some days, and I'm more fucking ice cold on others. So, like, what? Does that make me non-binary? I don't, like, I could wear fucking... I wear whatever the fuck I want. Primarily, mostly. Someday I might wear a dress if the fucking mood fits me. I don't really give a shit about that, and I don't expect other people to give a shit about that.
It is a lot of, and we might as well get this shit out while nobody's listening, but it's a lot of the woes people have in life is ego-driven shit. Like, even the shit I brought up earlier with, this friend of mine and they don't really fuck with me.
Right.
That's my ego being like, well, why don't you fuck with me? Underline me 100 times. Fuck me. And that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I really don't. And this is what saves me from a lot of stress and heartache. I don't. People go, oh, but you do. Oh, you do care about you. I don't give a fuck about me because I don't take myself seriously enough to really hold how I feel or what I think or my point of view. I don't put much weight on it because that shit's forever changing. You know what I mean? And I feel like some people, not even those who are trans or non-binary or this, that, and other, or transracial or whatever, trans species or so there's a lot that goes off. But I don't think a lot. I mean, they don't. It's not consciously, but all of that shit is very ego driven. Because if you lived on a plane where you matter significantly less, you wouldn't label yourself anything. You know what I mean?
And I
because
don't,
and then if someone goes, well, you're this, that, and that, so that means you're this. You go.
I agree.
You'll go.
Agree with
okay,
that.
and you won't even give a fuck. Okay, I'm a gay. I'm straight.
No,
I'm trans. I'm this.
That's where we split on this because like I look at people who fucking call themselves gender fluid, non-binary, cis hetero, like that shit is so fucking stupid to me. Like honestly, you're just you. And people have struggled so fucking hard to not be labeled but to label themselves at the same time.
It's weird. A lot of people, everybody, I don't even like labeling music. In my head, it bothers me a little bit. But you have to, kind of. But labels bother the shit out of me. But then it's just very few some that it's just like you got it. But
I find it so attention seeking. And again,
it's all ego. It's very ego driven.
And again, like I don't take issue with people who are transgendered. I believe like they need to do. There's a struggle there.
Yeah,
there's a real struggle. Yeah. Like the horror stories that you could easily Google for what those people go through.
Just even before they leave the house. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But for the fucking people out there who are fucking trying to, ride the coattails of the struggle that those people go through and the hardships that they go through, it's fucking appalling to me. If you want to wear a dress one day and you want to wear flannel on the next, you're just fucking weird. That's it. That's all you'll ever be. Don't try to fucking give yourself some grandiose title to ride on the coattails of the people who really struggle.
You know what's fucked up? Like 30 years ago, I'm sure if they had like podcasts or whatever, but 30 years ago for sure, there were conversations just like this
about trans.
But about gay and bisexual.
Okay.
Because then people just recently in the past 15, 20 years or whatever, slowly accepting gay people. And then you could imagine 30 years ago, it's like gay, nobody was fucking gay. Everybody was a confirmed bachelor or something.
And there's still people who subscribe to that.
Yeah, but then when you're like, I'm sure there were people that like, you're bisexual. Oh, you just can't. You just stop it. You just want to have fun. You're not bisexual. This is bullshit. I have no idea because I don't rock like that, but I don't. I get it, but then it's I do sympathize because I have met like non-binary folks and it's definitely there's more to it than like cloud chasing. I think it's definitely because if you
got an example, are they going through surgery?
No.
They get beheaded?
No, but I'm like if you're a guy and you're like, okay, I don't want this dick. I don't want this balls. I want tits. I want to live my life as a woman. All right, fine. And if you're the opposite, you're a guy and you want to be a woman, okay, fine. But then to me, if that makes sense, then it makes sense if someone's like, I don't want to be any of these things. I just want to be me. I don't want to be a woman. I don't want to be a man. I want to be me. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense.
And here's where it comes back to the Rachel Dolezal thing. No one's stopping them.
True.
No one gives a shit.
So where's the line that you call bullshit on?
The line that I call bullshit on is that the fact of the matter is that when it comes to gays, when it comes to trans, is that they have to live through something that is permanent. You
If
know,
they choose. I mean, because there's some trans people that don't opt into having surgery, and they're good. You know, they maybe they don't want to have the invasive whatever. They don't want to have the hormones or the whatever the fuck. You know, they just I want to be a woman, but then they have
but
a
they
beard.
still want to live as a woman.
Yeah, and then they just rock a beard too on top of that. That happens.
And yes,
but then it's still like, to your point. It's hard as fuck. But then
exactly, because they are forever going to be looked
as what they are going to be looked upon as what they feel they are now.
When you walk down the street and you have parents who want to pull their children away at the side of you, and that's from you just walking down the street to go to the store.
Yeah.
That is something that is horrible, and they have to live through that on a day-to-day basis. But for anybody who just doesn't want to be anything, the person, no one gives a shit. They're gonna look at you and not even give you a second glance, because you know if you want to be I'm Pat, you know people are just gonna look at you like the fucking weirdo that you are. But for the person who wants to live their life as a woman, or for the person who wants to live themselves, you know, as a man, your family might not want to talk to you. Those parents might pull their kids away from you.
It's definitely
might
huge.
not get a job. You might get things just taken away from you. You could go to a bar one day, and some motherfucker with some angry, repressed issues is just gonna want to fight you.
So you feel as if the non-binary,
and when it happens to non-binary people because they're rocking whatever, it's because people view them as trans or as gay.
So they're
still a fucking clout chaser.
They're still riding on whatever wave. I mean, I feel you, but then it's you know, they out there struggling.
Don't take this as me hating. This is me adamantly not giving a shit about your problems.
Calling shenanigans on your bullshit. It's kind of like when when you meet somebody that's like biracial, and they talk about their struggles, and you're like, really, dude? Nah, I mean,
tell me about the struggles of being Blasian or whatever fucking silly name you call yourself.
No, nobody cares.
Really, no one cares.
Pick a team. I guess that's the moral of the jump right there. Pick a team.
So like that's really my take. And you know, even online, these people, you know, they get bitter and shit.
It's easy to get better.
It's like if you're white, cis hetero.
Oh, like that video.
Don't fucking talk to me.
Like that.
I'm not interested. Be non-binary like me.
Yeah, that's a little.
Oh,
that's a little much.
What's the shit that's falling off? It used to be pansexual. People used to be pansexual, but now it's just like gender fluid, non-binary. Done fucking took all the clout, and you don't even hear about people who are pansexual anymore.
They falling under the radar.
Sure. They fell off the fucking train.
First, before that was like polyamorous, and then there's always a new a new thing for people to just kind of dismiss. I think, and then, but eventually everybody gets their place though. You know, everybody finds their place at the end of, like, because in 20 years there's gonna. I don't fucking know. People gonna be like they're a robot or some shit, and then fucking non-binary people are like, all right, so what? That's all whatever. They're gonna be where you are now in 20 years, with just not giving a fuck about that. It's like, oh, but what about these people that are robots? Like, you know, fuck you and your non-binary boring ass.
This is why we need Jose on shit like this. He's lighthearted. He's
He
lighthearted.
doesn't get too deep.
We're fucking borderline hate speech right now.
For sure, for sure.
It's good to have him around to just kind of be the balance.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But yeah. I mean, it's, at the end of the day.
Oh, somebody would definitely take this for hate speech. Whatever. Fuck it. They're not listening yet. This will be the one. This will be the one.
Hey, if you're listening and you're non-binary and you feel the type of way, let us know.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear from you. Change our mind. I mean, I don't care.
Fuck it, change my mind.
Yeah,
because honestly, I see you on the internet and fuck you. But
I love you. I love you.
Mm-mm.
We could go out. I know some dope spots that would accept you and us. We can hang out.
I just don't give a shit about your problems. I don't think they're problems really. I think SNL has been doing I'm Pat for a long time now, and it wasn't a skit that was even all that funny. So
I don't even know what is Pat. It's a person.
You never saw that all right. So there's this character on Saturday. There used to be this character on Saturday Night Live. It was I'm Pat, and Pat was just like this person no one could ever tell was male or female, and they would just the butt of the jokes was that Pat was just always saying some shit that still kept you guessing if it was a dude or a female, and it was just this obese person with a little Jew fro, and every time it was just yo, today's the day, are we gonna find out if it's man or female? And that was just always the running gag. Every scene is just trying to figure out if Pat was male or female.
I'm sure they never found out.
They never did find out. I think Pat even had its own SNL movie once upon a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't know how you missed it. I never watch SNL, so that's probably I don't know. But that's topical as fuck. I'm sure they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore.
That sounds like not some 2000 shit.
Not that it was overly funny to begin with.
It's SNL, but at the end of the day, that sounds like something they did in 2001 probably, for sure. But yeah, I mean, if you're out there, you know what I'm saying, you're listening, just, you know what I'm saying, keep doing you feel me? I support you.
Yeah.
You feel me?
mean, feel free to give me a piece of your mind and let me know.
Yeah, 100. And then
I'm Hot Pockets on Instagram as well.
Word.
For and real. Then Hot Pockets.
And then if you want Hot Pockets job, just be like, fuck him, and then I'll get a non-binary. We could replace him with you. We'll be the non-binary.
You just talk about your non-binary problems and the social issues that you face on a daily basis.
The equivalent of a non-binary Hot Pockets. What would that be? Room temperature satchel. I'm a part of it now. I might as well.
Lukewarm quesadilla.
Yeah, I might as well join. I'm a part. I'm culpable. But word, man, yeah.
Well, we should probably end it here.
Man, I wish we had more shit. But
not the biggest news was Tekashi and
one of these episodes we not gonna talk about one of these.
I don't think we talked about him the last episode before this.
Did we?
I don't think we talked about him.
You might be right.
Yeah. I mean, he just made a comeback because, he got this Law & Order episode that's about to drop. And I find that pretty interesting.
No doubt.
But other than that, I'm still not a fan.
So, I mean, to wrap it up, Tekashi, we all thinking of you. We praying for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Beat the charges, free Tekashi. Feel me?
Nah. Throw that nigga under the jail. All right, let him serve his time so he could come out
we
and
need
teach
another
the younger
album.
generation.
We need another record.
That shit got delayed permanently.
Well, he like he's gonna do some time, but he's gonna put some music out. Sure?
I'm sure because he got Kanye and Nicki
He
on
better
it.
put it out now.
He
better not
can't
wait
because he fired his team and he's
right.
going through. He's in jail.
But then if it's already recorded, he can put it out. Like once he gets sentenced.
I mean, he would, but his team got fired recently and is also in jail with him.
Yeah, he gonna die. He not gonna make it. So I'm praying for you, Takashi. You know what I'm saying? Come home soon. You know what I'm saying? One love, all day. And to all my non-binary folks out there, hit me up on the gram. Houseman cometh. I'll be your friend. You know what I'm saying? Hot Pockets don't want to be your friend. I'll be your friend.
You can be their friend.
No doubt. And I'll listen.
Fuck your flannel.
I know some dope flannel spots. We talk, hang out and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know some cool spots. And fuck that bitch, that fat bitch on from Tinder. Fuck you.
If only you could remember her name.
Sarah something.
Sarah. The fuck you, Sarah. You Becky.
Yeah. You simple bitch. You. But yeah, until next time, read your newspapers, spank your kids, and enjoy this Thanksgiving. It might be your last.
That was grim. This is why we need Jose, man.
It's too dark.
It's so dark. It's the balance.
He would have had a story about fucking,
like
something,
some weird
shit
that happened. Yeah, absolutely. Like he brings positivity,
for sure.
And we're being super like this is.
Really
I don't know how we got into something that was just hitting so close to hate speech.
Yeah.
I try to be more progressive than that, but it's just
this last hour has
fuck
been,
your struggle.
This last hour has been very bigoted.
Yeah,
I apologize. I'm gonna still put.
I stand by what I say.
I'm gonna still post it unedited though, for sure. Because I mean.
Why not? Yeah, why not? I don't think there was too much. But anyway.
So next time, bitches, subscribe, follow, Instagram, YouTube. Like I said, I'm on Instagram, Houseman Cometh. Follow me so you can see my downward spiral. You feel me? And Hot Pockets on the gram.
With an S and a Z.
S and a Z.
S.
For that as this. And
no, it's just a Z. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he forgot.
It's
just a Z. We gonna edit that up. So Hot Pockets on the grams. Hit him up. Tell him how much he is a hater.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Change his mind. And who knows? You might could marry him one day. Change his mind so much that he'll join your team.
Maybe. I might claim to be non-binary myself, and
Bro,
then it just
you could be a closeted non-binary nigga right
just
now.
a self-hating binary.
Yeah, like the niggas back in the day that would like beat up gay dudes because they gay for real. You might be that.
I could
just be like, fuck your struggle, and then inside you're like, I'm not a gender at all. I'm just me.
But to not overshare, I really enjoy the fuck out of my dick too much. Like, sometimes I just wake up and I'm just like, I'm so grateful to be a dude. I can literally piss anywhere I want. I can, I don't know what cramps are. Like, ever.
No idea.
None. I don't know what that's about, ever. I've never known that pain.
Unless it's like the Charlie horse that you get. You know what I'm saying? Like in your calf sometimes. If it's in your midsection,
I mean,
like a hernia feel like.
I heard maybe it's like a popping pain. in your midsection, kind of
popping.
Like a popping pain.
So it's not like a muscle constriction, like
possibly. Like I'll never know. That's my point. Like I'll never know what that's like.
God bless you, women out there who go through that, and
that must suck. That must suck.
We here for y'all. We here for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing's ever gonna pass out of my vagina. Like I'm not gonna know what it's like to give childbirth, go through no C-section, none of that shit. I don't have to bleed out my dick every month. It's crazy.
I forgot what comedian was. It was like I think it was Patrice O'Neal. He's like, if guys had like a nosebleed every month, it would be such a problem. It's like, oh my God, I don't know when it's gonna start bleeding. It should have bled already.
Look, to be fair to women, look, God has been very cruel to you. Being a woman as a creature, I think it's just unfair. I wouldn't want to be a woman. It's just, I mean, like your period. Like I look at that and see what my woman go through every month. Like if my nose bled every month, I think I would kill myself. I would be like, oh my God, man. You gotta stick something in your nose with a string hanging out. Gotta take that out, every 7 seconds or whatever, and 5 days before your nose bleed, you know it's gonna bleed, but you don't know when, so you just sitting there like, when is my nose going to start bleeding? Oh my God. And then if your nose don't bleed when it's supposed to, you're like, oh my God. My nose is supposed to be bleeding by now.